What's going on, my good people? It is June 26, 2024. So we got more zones to go. As usual, when we get done marking up these zones, they will live here in Discord. So on the Unstoppable Traders Discord, if you go into futures, you'll see ES, for the ES markups, NASDAQ, gold, crude oil. Those are the core we are always planning to drop. If I do any bonus trade ideas like I did yesterday, and you'll see those in the bonus futures ideas. And at the end, tomorrow, if a lot of those zones hit, you'll find the results video down here in the trade ideas results tab. If you ever want to tap into these live events like today, you can come up to events on top of Unstoppable Traders, and you'll see the events lined up on the calendar. This event is happening right now on the Zoom link, so feel free to join all my good folks. All right, let's start at the top. ES, the big dog, S&P 500. 500 stocks are tied into this. The Fortune 500, good people. So we'll do a little recap and new zone analysis in one, even though I did a recap yesterday. So we had a supply zone here that broke today. It looked like it actually broke yesterday. We got the breakout trade and we got the reversal trade. I'm going to kill that, but before I kill it, I'm going to find the demand zone that broke this supply zone with a nice amount of volume. And it looks like I normally just take the original candle of the move that broke that zone. So it's really the same demand zone down here. But if I want to be more specific, I can come up. Let's delete this. I'm just going to change the color on this zone and make it green. If you want to be specific, and take a big zone, I would isolate this first 30-minute candle. And if you look at that today, that retested, and that became the demand zone that broke that supply zone, just like I'm explaining here today. So now that that zone has been tested, I'm probably not interested in taking it, but only because there's a zone lower than that, and that zone has already been tested, and it did not make a higher high than the last high. So I'm going to delete that zone because I want to make sure I'm not looking to take that. And I'm going to take the lower zone. That lower zone is still in play. Now, would I take it to as a reversal again? It depends. I'm willing to take a confirmation entry on it for a reversal, but I'm definitely not going to just set a limit order and take that zone. What I will set an order to do, though, is take the breakout on that zone. For the supply zone, the immediate supply zone that's coming up is just up the road, just ahead of us. We're just going to do that one. I'm going to extend it. That's the next supply zone. Now, we got some zone on zone stuff going on. There's a higher zone here that I really like a little bit more than this lower zone. This one was tested, but look at the amount of strength that zone had. It shot price all the way back zone to zone. If we get there again, it might be a little bit left in the tank to still get a reaction out of it. So we'll make that a confirmation entry. I will not set up a breakout on this, though. I'm going to actually put the orders in live while you guys are here. I'm going to do these on my Apex accounts. I'm killing global simulation mode. Whenever you are done trading for the day, I highly recommend going to your control panel, going to tools, and turning on global simulation mode. Highly recommend it. It's a faster way than closing out all your accounts when news is coming. You can just click global sim. It'll take any trades you had set up in sim instead of on your live account. So quick tidbit. I like this zone, a nice amount of volume on the volume profile. It was made at 11 o'clock. We had a little push up. 11:30 was this big explosive candle, so I always go with a candle before that. Volume shelf, nice amount of volume. There's a lower zone under that. If that zone fails, I'm going to extend that one out to the 27th. I always extend my zones out to the following day at 11 p.m. I'm on Central Time, so I don't want the zone box going way over off the screen because you won't be able to see it. So that zone is worth 450. I will set that one though. when I send out these zones to you guys, I normally use this zone ruler instrument that I bought online. Pretty nifty. It shows you the entry price or the distal line of the zone is 54.9750 with a proximal closest line. And it gives you the distal at 54.8850. It gives you how many ticks the zone is worth risk wise, and it gives you the dollar amount that you put on the table when you take the trade, if you so choose. And like I said, you could do a confirmation entry, which would be a reversal candle. It could be a pin bar. It could be a Renko. It could be a Heikin Ashi, whatever you so please, or you so choose to do. Because this was such an explosive move, both of them, I'm just going to take a regular stop market order, well, market to touch order on both of these so that I've got something set up for today. All of my ATMs are numbered. So this is an 18 tick zone. I could come in and create a new one if I want, or I could go with this 20. I think I'm going to go with the 20. And I'm going to come over and right click on my chart trader to make sure I have these configurations in place. ATM strategy selection mode. I'm displaying the selected ATM only. That's what I want. I'm submitting a new order for each additional quantity. What that'll allow me to do is use this, put opposite orders in. So I can have a reversal for this demand zone and I can have a breakout trade at the same time without it being closed. And I'm also going to right click and I'm making these orders simulated orders. What that means is they'll sit on this computer only. They won't be visible to the broker or anything. So I'm going to right click on my charts right at the 53.1350. I'm going to be looking to the right to make sure I'm right there. I'm right clicking, and on my ATM, this 20, I always set a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1. So my 1-to-1 is 20 ticks with a 20 tick stop loss. My target 2 is 20 ticks with a 40 tick take profit. I'm not doing a break even plus anything on these. I found it kind of, stops me out a little prematurely. So I won't do a break even on these trades. Plus their zone is so strong, I probably won't do a break even. And I just lied. I am going to do a break even, guys. I'm going to do 20 plus 10 just to mitigate risk where possible. So my second contract, that's the normal strategy anyway. So I'm going to go there, save that, 20. All right. Order setting time. Right click. I'm doing a buy market touch. That's what you want. Even if you do a limit, it shouldn't be visible to the market, but I wouldn't chance it. I kept the 20 because at the bottom when I do the breakout, even though this zone is 18, I might get like 2 ticks of slippage. So I want to be able to have my stop loss still behind this original zone. So if I do 20, that gives me a little 2-room buffer for slippage. So now that I've set that, if you tried to come in and right click and put another order in right below that, the low is 5509. So I'm going to go 550875, which is 1 tick below. Maybe I'll go 2 just to give it a little breathing room. If you tried to right click there and do a sell stop market, which is what you have to do for the breakout, you're going to get an error. It won't let you. You can't submit an exit order to a strategy until its entry order has been filled. It thinks I'm still trying to attach this order or a new order to this ATM while it's already being used. So all I have to do, come to the 20 again, because that's the same one I want. That went away. I'm going to right click. It says 5508850. I see it. 2 ticks below. Boom. Right click. Sell stop market. Orders in. Now to see both of them, you're probably like, what happened to the first one? You got to come into none, because it's displaying the selected ATM only. Since 20 is selected once, it's displaying that which has been selected. 20 was selected a second time, it's displaying that. So if you want to show all of them, you just hit none. So now I'm going to roll through it. This next zone is 35 ticks. I'm going to set that one up. 35. I'm going to go in and change this. See, I normally do 35 plus 10. Every trade is 1-to-1. After that, plus 10. I'm going to change this to 70. For some reason, I didn't have that as 70 before. But that's the 2-to-1. Save that as a template. You get some extra stuff here, man. You get to see how you go in and set ATMs a little bit too. So it's recorded. You guys can go back, rewind, fast forward through this. I know you got some 1.5 people out there. Yep, talking about the world-renowned Cookie Brown. Their risk is 437. I can come in here and change this to a 1 if I like, which is what I'm going to do. No, I'll leave it at 2. 437. Right clicking on that, I'm going to do a buy market of touch. Boom. There's 2 contracts now, so that's $875 on that. I'm going to right click below that and do the breakout. Now there's a little bit of noise over here. You got an old point of control here. Excuse me. Oh, went out for a walk. Allergy season. 1 second, folks. Man, I am back, man. All right. People were cutting grass today. I got an allergy, so whoa, got you, boy. All right, so 35 on that first one. Did I set the other one up? No, I didn't yet. 35 again on this bottom one. What I was saying, there was a nice amount of traffic over here. The origin of this move looks like it happened if you go 8:30 around this candle. We did barely tap it there. That's what made this take off. It tapped into that volume, so, and there's a point of control in that area. I will be cautious with the breakout on this one, to be honest, because it's so junky over here. It's a lot of players, so I probably would not set up the breakout on that one, to be honest. If you want to get notified when price reaches that area to make a decision if you want to trade or not and do a confirmation entry, I would just right click under here and set an alert. And maybe you could set it, yeah, still after it, because you don't want it while it's in the zone. It may go right down to 88.50 and turn around. So I'm going to right click, set an alert. Add, in fact, let's make that easier. I'm going to take a line, right click, well, click, and I'm going to right click on that line. I'm going to set an alert on that line. Price crosses below, above. I want to wait for price to cross below that line. Let's go back. Sometimes these lines, depending on how you draw them, it's going to come out weird. So I want price to cross below that line. This is price over here, crossing below that line. Add it. I want it to be enabled. That's checked. I don't want it to pop up again. It doesn't have to rearm. In the action I want it to take, I just want it to show a pop-up message. I don't want to order or anything. I hit apply. Now I got an alert for that. I normally make my alerts yellow. That's just me. So it shows up on the screen. I can see what's cautious. Well, I actually use gold. So I want to see what's waiting, what's standing and waiting. I want it to be obvious. I want it glaring out at me. This next supply zone. So what I do like about this one is right at the bottom of a volume shelf. Nice amount of volume there. You got a nasty move off of it. It's only 150, so I am going to take that. And just like the other one, it's a lot of volume above this, so I'm not going to take the breakout. But I will set an alert to come and look when we get there. So first things first, it's only 12 ticks, 150, 2 contracts. I don't have a 12 tick one set up, so what I'm going to do is go to custom, 2 contracts. I want to target 1, target 2. I always use market of touch for profit. That's me. When you hit my price, I want to be out. Stop loss, 12. 12. Same thing on both of them. Take profit, 12. Then a 2-to-1, which is 24. Break even. Let's go. 15 is 1.5. Let's go 15 plus 5. That works for me. Doesn't have to be picture perfect. Ideally, you probably think, oh, you should have did 12 plus 10, but it'll be too close then. So I at least want some wiggle room. That gives me 10 ticks of wiggle room. After you hit 12, go to 15, then move up 5. If you catch me, okay, cool. I still walk away with something. Save that as a template. And I'm going to call it 12. Just that simple. 12 tick stop loss, 12 tick take profit. All of mine are 2 contracts, 1 to 1 in the runner. So I don't have to worry about, is it 1 contract or 2? If you do want to know, you just click edit and you can figure out what you put in. So 12 ticks, right click at 55.58 is the entry. I'm going to go right to that point since price tapped it nicely. So 55.58, right click. I'm going to do a sell market if touch. 2 of those, bam. Take 2 of those and call me in the morning. All right, after that, I'm going to drop a line at the top again for an alert. Right at this 51.61.5.25-ish. Let's make that an alert. And once you create alerts, guys, you don't have to recreate them over and over, man. You can just create it once, drag it to the next spot, and reset it. All right, cross above. What do I want? I just want you to show me a pop-up. I don't really need the sound. I don't want to hear it. I probably won't be here anyway, so apply. Okay. Small little thing is just a me thing. You don't have to do it, though. Properties, I'm changing my line to gold. You'll see on some other charts in the future that these lines will already be there, but I wanted you guys to see firsthand, what it means. On the right-hand side over here, I got an alert log. So if I'm not here and the pop-up dialog does show, or I got too many of them, I can look over here at the log and I can see what instruments triggered and the time that they triggered. That's all I really care to see. What's triggered and what time. All right, so that is set. So let's see what we have. Reversal, breakout, reversal, alert, because we're running into other zones. Now, some might be asking, well, can you take the supply zones above? Yep, I will, but I want to move on to the next instrument. So we'll keep going because those other ones may not play out tomorrow. So there's no need to set all the orders in the world. Price is closer to the demand zone than the supply. It retested this old supply zone right here. I am going to mark that one off just for future reference because when we get back to that zone, we may look to take a breakout there as well. So let's go here. I'm going to go with the body of that. I'm going to pull in the wick of that. I'm looking at this value area right here. Shout out to the world-renowned Cookie Brown who put me on that. So 55.48.75. I'm going to line this up over here with these. I always do my best to put the pricing and everything at the top of a supply zone so it's away from price and you can see a little better. And on the demand, I put it at the bottom so it's a little away from price so you can see it a little better. Template for me, I made this supply zone, load, apply, bam, done. 12 ticks. Look at that. 12 ticks again, 150 bucks. If you start to mark these zones up, you'll start to see a pattern. A lot of them are around the same size a lot of times. I found that with corn, crude oil. ES appears to be doing that same thing. So be on the lookout for that. Now, because this is a little concave, let's get a little aggressive. Let's get a little crazy, people. I'm willing to take that zone. Again, it's only 12 ticks. So I'm going to drop another 12 right here. 55.48.75. That was a value area too. A lot of confluence, a lot of traffic on the left. Let's do a sell market of touch right there. It's concave above it. It's pretty thin if you look at the volume profile, except for way back here in the past, but they got taken out over here. So it's just shooting through there when we get there. So I don't think we got a lot of traffic there. I'm going to be risque, and I'm going to take one more above that. So I'm going to select 12 again. I'm going to go right above it at the 55.52. You're probably thinking, well, if you hit the stop, if you your stop loss won't be behind the zone. I'm okay with that. It may or may not be a tick below it or above it. If I wanted to be sure, I could go down to like 15 if I wanted to just give it a little bit more room. But that means my target is now 15, which, you know what, I'm actually okay with. So we will do that. 15, 30. I don't want two targets though. Let's see where 2 to 1 is. This was 12. 24 is there. So I'm going to go with the 12 because I don't want to go past 24 for the target. Because if I go to 30, then I'm in the zone. And it might turn around before that. So, and plus I have a limit order waiting right there. So I want to be out before that gets in. So let's stick with the 12. So we'll drop that 12. Breakout. One tick above it. If you get that little order issue, that means you probably are not on a blank piece of screen. So make sure you're somewhere in the black. And this is a buy stop market order, always a stop market. When price hits this 55, 52, give me a market, get in right there. You could do a buy stop limit, I just don't. Because it says, the stop limit says give me 55, 52 or better, not anything worse. Or you could say up to 53, but no worse than 53. But just get me in. I don't need to do all that. All right. So now for ES, zones are displayed, orders are set, alerts are set. Next one, let's go down to NQ. Something for you guys too. When you're doing this and you're setting alerts, it's tied to the chart. You can't see my screen, but I got like eight screens and a ton of charts. I'm gonna do something cheesy. I'm gonna take the camera off, guys, and show you. Mic check, mic check. So, my display, let's turn off this blur. So my display is like that. So I got 8 displays up. At the top on each one of these, my top screens, I can set alerts for each specific instrument, and I never change those charts. So that's what I've got going on. So if you are going to use alerts, you want to have a separate chart for it, or you can come down and have different tabs for those alerts. So for this video, I'm not really a big alert user anyway, so I'm just going to say okay and allow it to delete the alerts when I switch screens. So stand by. I'm putting the camera back up. All right, my good people, we are back. Let's adjust that camera again. I actually unplugged it by mistake, so you probably lost me for a few minutes. What did Kevin Hart say? We almost lost you. All right, so I'm going to be okay with those alerts going away. You might not be okay with it on your end if you're really an alert person. So they will be removed. That's fine. So yes, yep, that's fine. But my orders, when I go back to that chart, if I select none, all of my orders are still there. So it's more important to get the orders in. NQ. After you put your orders in too, one note. You want to check your NinjaTrader control panel and come down to your orders tab and see if your orders are there. Now, since we are doing a simulated orders, then you'll see trigger pending, yellow. That means it's on the computer. It hasn't even been entered yet. Once price triggers that price line, then the order will be sent to the exchange. But right now, it's just sitting on your local computer. What that means for you is you can't turn the computer off. It needs to be running. I use a virtual server personally. A trading partner, the world-renowned Cookie Brown, actually found a great one that we use. Got an affiliate link for it. I'll be putting that out too, so you guys can see that. and know what we use. It's Ninja Mobile Trader. So, all right, on to the next one. NQ. On this one, it looks a little different. You see a lot of gray and black lines here. These are levels of interest. At one point, it probably was a supply or demand zone or support or resistance. So I use those as targets for take profit. I also look at them as potential reversal points. If I'm looking to enter a trade and I got a big zone, sometimes I'll come right to that trigger line. So had I extended this, let's say supply zone that turned demand, I would have wanted to enter off this trigger line, but I didn't have a demand zone here, but that line still held. It was a level of interest. So just like last time, supply zone was here. Where's the demand zone that broke it? Oh, look at that. 9 o'clock, New York session. This was supply. This is the demand that broke it. I'm going to copy this zone below. Drag that up yonder. I'm going for the body. I like the body closes. It's also right at that point of control, so that's inside of my zone. I'm going to drop below this other level of interest right here. And that's the 850 zone, 850. So what you might want to do, if you don't want to do an $850 zone, I'm going to delete this after I set the rest of these zones up. You might want to come down to micro, MNQ, and that will make your zone, that'll make this a tenth of the size. So it'll be $85 instead of $850-ish. All right, but that's the zone for now. I'm going to delete the supply and create maybe a LOI in here somewhere. Not the cleanest, so nothing there for now. If I see something later, I will go back and identify it. LOI. I do like that. Supply, also resistance became support, slightly, broke again, resistance, support, supply. I like that. Beautiful price. 19,803, 802.75 was the number back here, so you got a little confluence with that. I could probably go back further and find even more. If I'm going surgical, I like the body closes. That's the body close. This is the body close, so I'm going to go there with that. Let's move this over a little bit. Yep, I like that. Just like that. Kissed it. Mwah! 804.50. Probably 805 if you really want to get particular. But the 50s are not bad either. It doesn't have to be a whole number. So that's gone. That supply zone. This demand zone broke it. Bye. This was a supply zone. Where's the demand that broke it? I like to say here. This was 10 o'clock. It was earlier in the day, earlier in the session. I like the first parts of the session as opposed to the later parts of the session. That zone was taken out, though, later in the session at 12:30, I guess right before the 1 o'clock move. So since that zone was taken out, I will still reference it by incorporating it in the other demand zone that actually took it out. So, and I actually grabbed the wrong zone there. Let's go here. I'm going to take that body on the volume profile. It's a nice shelf right there. So that was a nice area to incorporate. Let's pull this demand zone up just like so. We got some zone on zone going. Both of them are around the same amount, like $800 to $900, $850-ish, $890, $880. If I had to pick, I probably wouldn't take that again. We're probably going to chop around for a while. So this supply was broken by this demand. You can go away. I had a supply zone here that got violated. It was just like the ES one. If you go back to that one, except this one didn't hold. And if you look, the volume profile is not as thick here. So we can get rid of that one. That one didn't work out at all. If you look at the time of day, it was 4:30 in the morning. That's later in the London session, not the best time. Same thing here with this one. This was a great London session zone. Didn't work out. We must have had some New York volatility. New York has more buying power than London, so naturally, New York against London, New York should win. If everybody in New York is going the same direction and everybody in London is going the same direction, New York will win. Now, this zone was created in the Asian session, held up and respected in the London session. Not nasty move. You would have expected something out of it, but we didn't get anything. New York just no. This was London. London ran right through their own zone, so we could tell them bye bye. I have a level of interest that I still like. So nothing for that supply zone. I don't really see any strong demand I like that broke that. I mean, this was a 1 o'clock zone. I don't really care for those as much. And if you look later in the day, it really didn't get respected anyway. So my zones are New York open, London open. Let's see. Had a higher zone here. If you look, this was made in New York at 12 though, but it was a nice move. Big strong candle. And it probably took out a low to the left. Took out this little zone. Not a big zone, but a big move. A lot of volume there. So that zone was okay. Supply. Let's extend that. That supply zone worked out. So if you did have that supply zone, you ate. You ate pretty good. Because she's still running. And she ran zone to zone had we had this zone drawn already. Shortcut for me. Let me adjust these zones, good people. Boom, boom, boom. I like everything to be neat and cleaner for you guys, so properties, let's do that. Today is the 26th, so tomorrow to midnight. That's how far these are drawn out. If I had to pick one over the other between these two, since this one is being tested already and is being tested at 8 o'clock in the London session, you might not get much from it. It was created here, retested here. It's being tested again. It's not giving us a huge reaction right now, but that still remains to be seen. We'll see what the market gives us. So I like the lower one more. If you look, it's the beginning of New York. Nice amount of volume. It is based on, some news right before there at 8:59 and maybe at 9. Let's see. Can I get that isolating? Mr. Taylor. Oh, it's two of them lined up, stacked on top of each other. So let's see what created that. Now, zones made by news aren't necessarily the best. Okay, that was the consumer confidence report. It was positive, greater than expected, 100 versus 102. So that may have been a driver there too, but even without that, it's still a nice amount of volume here and there. So I would eliminate this upper demand zone and I will go with the lower one. And I will actually set this up on a MNQ chart. So I'm not going to switch screens and go MNQ. I'm just going to do it after I'm done on the session with you guys. But I'll allow you to go ahead and take your time to set that up. Let's see. No, I'm going to do it. I'm lying to you guys, man. I got to kill all that. MNQ, if you do want to switch to micros, let's remember our numbers. 88, 19, 832, I could do that. Or I could come over to TradingView and add the orders. So I'm going to not add them yet. Let me make my mind up, guys. I'm not going to add it. I don't want to risk 880 on each one of these. I recommend you guys do micros. So for this one, we're going to pass up the entry. And I'm going to come and do it on micros. You can do it on your micros too. Select micros. Select MNQ. That's the micro version of this, MNQ. It has a nice amount of volume as well. And you can set it up there. And it'll only be $88 per trade on that one and $74.50 per trade on this higher one. So set your zone, guys. Go back and watch the recording if you don't remember how I did it. And I'll be setting mine up accordingly. So I'm going to take the reversal here. I will take, this was a London zone. I will give that one a stab. It hit twice, made a major high after it hit. It's still alive. So let's keep that one. Paste that out. We'll take those reversals. For today, was a new zone made? Let's see. This new demand zone was made, but it's in the middle of this range, so I don't get that zone give it much weight. What I would look at though is the supply zone that broke it, but if I looked at that, that would be this little drop-based drop. But it was made in Asian session, in the New York Asian session. I don't want to give it that much weight. I don't do Asian session zones. So that'll be that for the NQ. Next up, you guys set those up on your own. YM, my friend. No, let's do crude oil and gold. YM is a bonus. Gold. Man, we missed a nasty one today. Right click. Well, I missed it. Maybe you guys got it if you set the zone up yesterday. And I set it up a few days ago, in fact. It's a pretty old zone. It's been around since June the 10th-ish. Finally hit. And if you look, it hit the LOI I had drawn to the tick. So that was at least, looks like probably a 1-to-1, 203 to 208 is 5-point difference. And 208 to 213 will be 5 points. So we definitely got that at 215. So if you went for either the LOI or you went for 5 points for 1-to-1, you got that. If you went to break even plus 10, which is what you saw me do on the ATMs, you should have got your 1-to-1, went to break even plus 10. If you didn't move your stop loss, then you're still in the trade on the second contract. But if you held it, that means you had to close it out at either break even or a loss, because if you're on the funded account, you got to close out by 3. So, nice new zone was made today. I like this supply zone. I'm going to copy this. I'm actually going to kill this zone. I found this on the 15-minute. So I'm going to just make that an alert zone. I won't kill it. We'll make it an alert zone. And today, gold pit open 7:20, 7:30-ish. Made that new zone. Nice new supply zone. We'll be marking that one off. Pulling it in. 28. Again, 500, close to 500. 4, it could be 5 if I went to the body and got a better zone. This will be a confirmation entry. 500, 500, 5. I think that's when you know you're getting consistent zones. And these are pretty spot on. It's from the wick to the body. Wick to this body. I went to that body exact on this one. Around 500. And if I really tighten up on the wick a little bit more, it's really right around 5. So I like that zone. That's one of my ways of scoring to see how consistent it is with what's been happening in the market. 5 o'clock, little drop happened. Not really worried about it. The thing with gold, though, you can trade this in multiple countries. So the New York gold pit open doesn't necessarily mean it holds more weight than, let's say, a Asian session drop. Like this 6 o'clock drop was pretty significant. That was before the gold pit open. 5:30, pretty significant drop. I like this drop. This was at 4 a.m. second half of London. 10:30 New York. 1 a.m. is the African session. That was a nice drop. Africa, rich in minerals, gold, diamonds. So some mining is happening over there. So you could have taken it at the Johannesburg open too at 1 o'clock. So that was a nice move. Then London came in, gave you a nice move. Then New York came in, gave you a huge move. Bigger move than the rest because London is still open when New York is open. Love that zone. It's not going anywhere. This demand zone was violated. Who violated you? We giving pumpkin heads. Who violated? A lot of noisy. It was choppy. I'm not going to identify a supply zone there. Nothing is jumping out at me. But I will identify a level of interest before I delete my zone. Price bounced a lot around this 23.30. I like the round number part. I'm going with the body close. So let's go 23.30. I got some wicks over here to the left, another body close. Let's go with the 23.30 point. Let's come to the middle. Let's split the difference. Let's go 23.30. Round number. I like that. Yep. 2330. Let's copy you, paste you. 2330. Boom. Bye-bye zone. And to the right, if you look, it was really hovering above that line. And when it broke that line, it came back and tested it to the tick. Kissed the line and kept going. Kiss my line. All right, so that's what I see with gold. I pulled in a nice amount of data. I might have to go back a little further. We got a demand zone that's probably going to break because it's grinding through it. It may double top though, double bottom and bounce up though. We will never know. Let's go to 240 to go back a little more. On this 240, wow, it makes the zone even more significant now. Let's remember that bottom, 2303. I'm gonna round that down to 2303 period, just to give it some breathing room. 2303, and let's go to the left. Tighten that up later. If you look, this was respected for a long time. 2303. And look where it started at. If you look to the left, you had a rally-based rally right here. A nice candle, nice formation that started this whole move, and that was at 11 o'clock New York time. Well, Chicago time in the New York session. You had a zone there too. I like that lower zone. I'm going to put an LOI right here. Bring in a little bit more data. I got 90 days. Let's go 120. I want to see back a little further. I'm liking it even more. This was a top right here. That's close to my level of interest I had before. What number is this? 2308. 2309. Let's pull in this wick right here. Let's just call it 2310. I'm going to say 2310. And if you look at these value area numbers, there's a 230901. That was a nice area. If I go up to 10, I get another wick in. So I'm going to go 2310. And check it out. It's 5 points away from 2315. And it's a round number. So 2310 is the LOI. It's the top of this zone. I want to be watching out for that. I actually like this 2303, 2303.5. That would have been a perfect trigger line. Let's go with 2304 since it's the LOI right there. Or a value area node. 2304. But since 2305 is a psychological round number, and look, 2310, 2315, 2330, 2333.40, which is almost 2335. If I adjusted it, probably would be better at 2335. But let's go with 2305. If you did 05 and made that a LOI, now I'm going LOI crazy. 05, look what it did in the future. This is the stuff you want to think about when you're drawing these. Rally-based rally. It took out this high. That high was 2308.6, but there was another high after that before we got a huge move. It was this 2310, 2309.7. You got to think, who does 9.7? They probably meant 2310. So if I'm putting a stop loss at 9.7, I probably want to give it 2-3 ticks room, which would be 2310 instead of 2309.7. That gives you 3 ticks. Then at 10, people are watching the 10 level. So it just makes self-fulfilling prophecy come into place. And if you're going to take that at 5, you're probably going to take it to 10, get 5 points, then 15, run it up to 30. So I like that 05 level. And in the future, came and kissed it to the tick. And look what happened again in the future on this one. 2305 again. This is 2 big zones. If I put these together, one of them is $700, the other one is $1,150. This I would definitely go down to micro if I was going to take the whole thing. But we're not taking that whole zone. We will take it in micros. So I'm going to pivot and do micros on that zone too. So if you guys want to take a chance to do it on the mini, if your account allows for it, you got maybe a 300K Apex account or something, or some other prop firm account that's large in size, large and in charge, you can go ahead and set that order. I'm going to be setting it up on the micro. Let's look at this supply zone above. I drew it on a 30-minute. You saw that earlier, a few seconds ago. I like it on the 4 too because it's a drop-based drop. I have a value area right there, or level of interest at 23.30. So, and my stop right here is 23.99. That's not good. Let's go 23.30.02 or something. 2 ticks above that high. Much better zone. Now I got a 4-hour drop-based drop. So when I come back to a 30-minute, that's even cleaner to me. And what's crazy, I should have just saw it because I got that 23.30 LOI. But I just drew it, so more confluence for that zone. I'm liking that. It's 550. I will set that one up. On this one though, it's 56 ticks. I'm going to set up a new ATM just for that with one contract. So I'm going to do one contract. No, I can keep 2. I'm going to keep it as 2. Just so it's consistent. Not 1. Risk management, guys. Risk management first. 1, market touch for profit. I'm going to do a 55 tick stop loss because I'm going to bring my entry in a little bit. And a 55 tick take profits. That's what I'm going to do on that. And stop strategy, I may do a 20 plus. No, let's go 40 plus 20 in case we don't get to 50. Yeah, let's do 40 plus 20. I like that. Yeah, 40 plus 20. And I'm going to save this as a template. I called it 55. It's only one contract. Let's save that. Keep that going. Boom. Put that in. Bring it in a tick or two. The price is 23.24.6. So I can go up to the body of this if I want to. If I want 23.24.7, now I'm at 55. So let's do that. Sell MIT. And voila, that is set. All right. That's what I see for gold right now. I'm not looking for any sales below this level until we break out of this. That's a lot right there. And it stopped this huge move this area did. It's not bouncing as high, but we could get another bounce down here somewhere. Let me sniper in a little bit. I looked at this on the 4 hour. Let me look at it on the 30-minute now. 30 minutes. Origin. 11 o'clock candle. Rally base rally. It's 11 o'clock. 23:01. Nice psychological number. Nice volume shelf. So if I wanted to cut the risk of that zone down, let's see. I could come down here. I like that. Still got all these lows included. That's some London lows right here we had to take out. New York came in, took out the London lows to grab that liquidity and took it up. They ran the stops, which triggered the buy orders to go even higher. So if we tighten that zone up, that's what it looks like now on a 30-minute time frame. And you can keep going down and down to 5 and all that. But once you look at this volume shelf on the volume profile, that's going to pretty much be the same on whatever time frame you're on. So this will be set up on the micro for me at $84 per contract for this zone. I'll probably do 3 or 4 contracts, maybe 4 contracts. Yeah, but I will take this one here right now for 1 contract because it's only 500. The breakout on the other end, not interested in. There's a lot of noise up here. A lot of noise. So not interested in the buy. The sell zone above at 7 o'clock. That one's okay. It took out these lows at that 35 LOI. See, I got 34.40. I'm going to tighten that up to 35 to pull these wicks in and watch what happens. Bam. Right at 35. Perfect wick touch. Perfect wick touch. Wick touch rejection. Wick touch right here. coming up into it. So I'm going to, I've adjusted that to that. 35, no entry there. This 40-ish area, drop base drop, not interested in that because it is gold, so time of day isn't as much of a major factor. This 23.48.90 I had was a nice one. Probably was good at 52. Nope. 48. That could be a nice zone. It originated back here on the left and New York. Look at that volume. If you come down, I actually had this marked up before, but I deleted it. Let's highlight this just to have it. Let's go with this wick. If you come down the time frame, this is a 30. If I come down to 15, I think it was a picture perfect zone. Nope, wasn't a 15. Let's go 5. 5-minute zone. Perfect 5-minute zone. Perfect 5-minute zone. The meat of the move is there. You could have took this drop base drop also. That's probably just as good. But that second zone that came in was a retest of this original zone that came in at 9-ish. That one happened, retested, so I will take the retested zone. It came back to that retested zone and ran down. Took out all the highs, so that was the original one. So if I were to try to draw a zone here, it's really a retest of this. It did make a lower low, but I'm not overly interested in that one, so we'll pass on that one, and I'll take the lower zone that's fresher. These highs, this volume profile right here covers all of that. I want the volume shelf on that volume profile. It also pulls the wicks in, and look at that, 2340. It landed right at 2340 to 2343. There's a wick here. I don't feel the need to go all the way to 45. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it right there. That's what a volume is. I'm getting that group of volume. You got to break through all this to get me. Another little small one here. You could take that. That's starting to get weird though. Not a ton of volume. It's a nice move down, but it's really just a continuation, I think. That was people taking out these lows here to the left. These traders were taking out these lows. So, yeah, small zone. And it didn't even break. It wasn't the major break. This was the major move around here. All right, final instrument. Let's go to crude oil. Suggest these. Let's get my time right on these zones, though. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. These are what are in play for the week or the next couple days or however long they choose to be in play. It's already there. Yeah, 27. Tighten this up. 27. Let's tighten it up. There we go. That's what we have in play. Crude oil. Put these on micros or do a confirmation entry. You could do a Renko bar inside of these. You know, I just wouldn't take that whole thing. Coming back a little, 2340. Let's take this up to get that wick in there. Let's do 2344. That's what we'll do. 2344. You're probably thinking I'm being meticulous and overly picky, but all that matters. That's a perfect 4-point, which is 46 zone now. Yeah, I like that. LOI is in there. Point of control is right outside of it. I had an LOI around there. If I adjusted mine that I drew as a human, I could probably tighten it up a little better. And I probably would be at around that 40 mark. Yeah, it actually would be. It's a little cleaner. But I'm going to leave it where it is. That's gold. One order is set up live. The rest are going to be confirmations. Except this new one I'm about to put in now. 4,400. Let's make that one contract for now. You can always adjust your stuff as you see fits. Remove. I'm going to protect it. Let's go 40 plus 20. Save as template. 40. That doesn't make sense. Let's adjust that. 40 plus 20, that means after I get to 40, move 10. Move up 20 in profit. We want to do it before that. Let's do a 20 plus 5. No trail. If I'm halfway to target, gonna move me 5 ticks in profit. All right. 40. Am I right on the price? 23.40. 40 ticks. Imagine that. Sell MIT. Yes. Gold. 2 orders are in. I don't know when that was. Ooh, look at that. This was demand right here. Turn support. That's how you know you got a good zone. Look at that confluence, man. 2330.2, I say, or something to that effect. That's good enough. I know I made it 55 ticks, so 55, that's good. Crude oil, guys, the final home stretch. Let's see how fast this goes. All right. We had this crude oil demand zone that got tapped, man. If you caught that, good for you. 27th, apply, boom. Perfect zone. I'm going to extend this one. Right click, properties, supply. To the 27th, boom. 390 for the supply zone. I like the supply zone. I think it was only tested once. Let's see. Let's go back in time. Do you remember the time? Yep, just once. Dynamic move. Original move, 7 o'clock to open. Continuation move at New York to take out these lows. Retest on the oil pits and all that stuff open. That came back, tested that perfectly. Look at all those areas right there, levels of interest. Bing, bing. Came back there perfectly on a new day, so it's a new zone for me. Big move, took out multiple lows. That low, that low. Tested that low, came back, took it out on the next move. This low. All of that happened with that move, I think. So I am going to take that zone. We're getting close to it anyway. Price keep flirting with it. When people get close, they run away. They scared of them. So I'm going to make that a 40 tick one. I like when it's 39 like that. It probably should be 40, but I like when it's 39 because now I can go right at the 82.02. Right click. And I'm doing 40 on that. Sell MIT. I really wouldn't mind doing 2 contracts on that, but since I've already got 40 used in another account, I don't want to go against the grain and change that to 1 contract, because then it's going to make all of them 1 contract. So I'll keep that as it is. This zone has been tapped a couple times and may be ready to break. I'm not sure I would even be willing to take that one again. But if we break out, I won't take the breakout either because it's running right into another zone, which originated during the open of the gold pit, the oil mine, time, whatever that stuff is called. So I don't want to run into that. So instead, I'll be willing to take this lower zone though. I like the time of day. I like that it's fresh, hasn't been touched. I wish it was the origin, this one, but that was made at 4 o'clock. It was a nice amount of volume. Time doesn't matter as much with the energies either, because all countries traded. Now, this tap right here did come from this rally base rally to the left, it looks like, during the New York zone, New York time. So New York time was retested in London and took off in London. New York continued the move after London and kept the party going. So we're gonna go with one, and I'll go with two on this because I probably already have two set. 30 contracts, $30, 30 ticks, 300 on it. Two contracts will make it 6. 1-to-1. The breakouts, I'm not too fond of. So if I was going to take a break, it would be these lows I would have to take out and this. Then you're running into that zone. So I'm not loving any breakout right now. No clear traffic. It's a small concave area right here, but you got another peak right after that. Same thing here. Let me pull up another tool I use sometimes. The volume profile that's attached to the high and low of the area that I so choose to select. So if I take that volume profile, it does align with the other ones. It's just a different view that I prefer. There it is. So I want this swing, this move. The peak of it, I mean, the point of control is here in that move, but it's incorporating this leg. Let's take that leg out. Let's just go with this leg. High to low. That's the point of control. Nice peak right here, just like we said. That's that New York session rally base rally, which got tested already. Let's make it an LOI. I use a label line tool for my LOI. 79.18. We'll drop that. 79.01. I already had that one right at the peak. If I really want to be more accurate, the body closes are great, but I'm going to go with the volume profile data peak. It lines up with that. I'm still in front of the body. It's 79.20. Nice round though. Let's keep it 21 because some people front run numbers. Then you have a point of control right here, 78.70, which lined up with the other one from the system drawn. Volume profiles is 78.68. So, and it encompasses this high. So that's an okay level of interest too. Let's go with the 78.70 round number. It hits that and that. Demand zone. If I wanted to shrink this demand zone, I would get right in front of this volume shelf in the zone. At 79, let's call it 40. That 79.40. So if you wanted to minimize the risk and not take that whole zone at 350, you could take it like that. Now you're only 220, which is not terrible actually. Probably less probable because you may have people getting in early. If you're doing a marketed touch order, you're good. If you're doing a limit order, you got to worry about getting filled. So yeah, let's keep it. Let's cut that down. 79.40. And I'm going to give this other one a little room. Let's go 78. No, I won't go 20. I'll keep it 18. $78.16. Let's go there. Giving it a little breathing room. All right, let's extend that zone out. Boom, boom, boom. Bam. That's what we're looking like. I'm probably going to take all of these. I can set them all up. So you get to watch. Let's see what we did so far. Any of them on so far. Just that 40 tick one. I'm going to take the bounces. Take that first bounce, and I'm going to take this bounce. The middle, I'm not really sure. It's not that clean. This is okay. This zone here, because it took out this high. But it really started down here. That's the last red. And it ran all the way up to take out that high. Then we got some other ones. So this would be a big area if I was to take another zone. And watch it play out when I don't mark it up. Watch it play out. Let's go there. Let's go there. That'll probably play out too. And it's 30 ticks. All of them are around 30 ticks. Let's expand that a little bit, tighten that up. Right on the body. What did I tell you? Right around 30 ticks. Nuts, man. Market makers, right? Somebody's making it. 58, 88-ish, 89. If I want to tighten it up and really take a precautious entry and minimize my risk, I could target that LOI for an entry point. But I won't. So let's set these up. 250. Okay. All right. I'm going to make this first one 30 ticks. It's 30. Nice round number. Did I make that one already? Let's make that one. Mark it a touch. Save as template. Now, if you want to, you can name your ATMs 30, 2, 30, 1, 30, however many contracts you want to do. It's only 30 ticks, so I don't want a 20 plus 10. Let's do a 5. Save as templates. That's my 30. All right. Simple now, guys. All we do is drop a line. 76. 30. This one's 31. I could bring it in a little bit and go to a low, 1 tick lower. It is 78, 88. I don't have to do that. 78, 88. I'll make it that. Make it consistent with the rest of them. Bring my entry to that. Properties. Nope, sorry. Gotta be in the black. And if it's not getting in the black, try to click somewhere in the black because you might just be highlighting something else. This one is 24 ticks. I'll go with 25. Gotta go over here, select the 25 first. I may leave that as 2 contracts. Well, I had 3 on that. I was getting aggressive. Let's cut that down to 2. Remove 1. This one I will go 20 plus 10. This oil, I haven't seen it be ridiculously wicky, but if you do, give me at least half of that. So after you hit 25, 20 ticks in profit, go ahead and, no, let's go past the target one. Let's go 30 plus 15. After you hit TP1, then start making moves. Market a touch for profits, 2 contracts, times 240 is 500. I'm comfortable with that. Save as template. 25, replace. Yes. All right, 74.40 was the entry price. Right click, buy MIT. Boom. Crude oil setup, set it to none. We got 3 entries. So, yes, entries all set. In Q, we have zones and entries. No, we didn't set those. Those are going to be micros. Big zones, man. NQ, big zones. That's why you see most people come down to like a 5 minute. Gold. Zones, entries. All set. 1 contract. No more than 500 on those. Crude oil. Select none again and see what all we have. Everything is set. I'm only doing reversals. I'm not too confident about the breakouts on it. So we're going to stick with that. This LOI, watch it mess around and give you a nice reversal. You should at least take it for a take profit if you do choose to do a breakout. But you're breaking out right into another zone that has not been tested. So I don't know if that's going to trigger in London session. So London is probably not going to take out its own lows. And it may not have enough power to take out the New York highs and lows or zone that was made. So exercise precaution. So as usual, I'm going to drop these screenshots in Discord. You will see them in ES and Q, gold, and crude oil. If I do choose to drop a bonus, any bonus trade ideas later tonight, then you'll see those in there as well. So with that, my good people, be great. To the next one. Deuces.